For more than 5 million years, the sun-scorched stones of Malta have kept their secrets. Dotting the island are towering megalithic temples and mysterious underground chambers, some carved with surgical precision, others aligned with the stars themselves. These haunting structures are the remnants of a lost civilization, one that left behind no written records, only stone whispers of a people who may have walked the earth thousands of years before recorded history even began. Mainstream archaeologists date these temples back to roughly 3,300 BCE, but some researchers, those willing to challenge accepted timelines, believe the true story goes much deeper in time. According to alternative theorists and ancient astronaut proponents like Giorgio Tsoukalos and Eric von Daniken, the evidence suggests that an unknown, advanced culture may have thrived on Malta as far back as 10,000 BC, an era traditionally dismissed as a mere shadow of human prehistory. To investigate this provocative theory, Giorgio and Eric journeyed with Maltese historian Frans van Avondonk to one of the most enigmatic temples on the island Mnajdra. Standing before the wind-worn stones of this ancient complex, they were drawn to a peculiar corridor, unlike any ordinary architectural feature. "What are we really looking at here?" Giorgio asked. Frans responded with a glint of wonder in his voice. "What you're seeing is believed to be one of the oldest solar calendars in the world. These megaliths were carefully arranged so that sunlight would strike specific stones during the winter and summer solstices. One stone, for example, is lit precisely at sunrise on the shortest day of the year, casting a beam through the entrance and illuminating a sacred slab. But there's a catch. The current alignment doesn't quite match the solstice as it is today. Because the tilt of the Earth has changed over time. And that's where Paul McAuliffe, a Maltese land surveyor and cartographer, enters the story. Using modern software to reverse engineer the night sky, McAuliffe proposed that the Mnajdra Temple, if aligned with perfect accuracy to both solstices, must date back to an astounding 10,200 BC. Such a date would place this temple 7,000 years before the Great Pyramid of Giza, at a time when, according to most textbooks, humans were still living in primitive huts and barely forming societies. So who were these master builders? And how did they know so much about the stars? Frans confirms that this corridor is the oldest part of the temple, which means, Giorgio adds, that over 5,000 years ago, these people were watching the skies, recording celestial events with precision. But what were they waiting for? Were they charting the heavens in anticipation of something? Or someone? Perhaps, as some theorists suggest, they were awaiting the return of gods who once walked among them. That question, which gods, still echoes through the chambers of these temples today. While excavations on Malta continue, archaeologists and historians alike agree these ancient wonders, both above ground and buried deep beneath the earth, offer an unparalleled glimpse into one of the earliest civilizations ever to rise on our planet. And for ancient astronaut theorists, Malta may very well hold the keys to an unknown chapter of humanity's distant past. Magnifying glass tilted left, according to researcher William Henry, the complexity of the temples, their astronomical precision, and the sheer engineering required to construct them in the Stone Age point to one unsettling possibility. Someone must have brought that knowledge from elsewhere. But who were they? And where did they come from? Today, visitors to Malta can walk among the ruins of temples older than any pyramid. Structures like Gantija, on the island of Gozo, are believed to predate even Stonehenge. These aren't just old, says Linda Enix, founder of the Temples of Malta Foundation. They are the earliest monumental architecture on Earth, more than 1,000 years older than the pyramids of Egypt. Some were even roofed and paved. Even more astonishing, they were built without metal tools, without the wheel, and without beasts of burden. Many of the stones weigh over 20 tons. How did a society with no known technology achieve such a feat? It was only in recent decades that researchers began to understand the mathematical precision of the cuts. Some stones are shaped with optical level accuracy, rivaling what modern engineers achieve with lasers. To many, this suggests a lost knowledge of engineering, a level of sophistication unseen anywhere else on Earth at the time. But Malta's mysteries don't end with the temples. All over the island are bizarre parallel grooves etched into solid limestone, known as the cart-ruts. They look like tracks left by carts, says researcher Arlen Andrews, but they're carved right into bedrock, uniform, often intersecting, and completely inexplicable. Some of these ruts stretch for miles. Others run right underneath ancient temples, proving they came first. But who carved them, and why? Ancient astronaut theorists believe these were not mere transportation paths. Instead, they may have been ancient tracks for machinery, perhaps for moving massive stones, or something even more advanced. Think of how we move rockets today, Giorgio says, using tracked platforms rolling across concrete. What if this was their version of that? The island's greatest mystery, however, lies beneath the surface. In 1902, during construction for a housing project, workers accidentally uncovered an underground sanctuary hidden for thousands of years. It was called the Hypogeum, a subterranean complex of chambers and halls, carved directly into limestone, 3 levels deep. An estimated 2,000 tons of stone were removed by hand to create it. No picks, no drills, no dynamite. Just ancient ingenuity. But it's not just the architecture that amazes. Within the Hypogeum is a chamber called the Oracle Room, a space designed with unparalleled acoustic precision. If you speak inside it, says Andrew Collins, your voice resonates throughout the entire structure. It's as if the sound becomes alive. The room can induce trance-like states. Ancient people may have used this chamber to enter altered states of consciousness, reaching for something beyond the human realm. Could this be a form of ancient sound technology? According to researcher Patrick Flanagan, the ancients may have harnessed fractal nonlinear resonance, a modern concept only recently understood by scientists. With it, sound could theoretically manipulate matter, shift perception, and even cause levitation. If this is true, says David Childress, then Malta's temples might have been built using sound, moving stones as if they were weightless. All across the world, ancient legends tell of stones that sang, floated, or danced. Could Malta's temples be physical proof of these myths? In the heart of the Mediterranean, Malta stands as a beacon of forgotten knowledge. A place where the earth still hums with secrets, where ancient stones align with the stars, and where underground chambers may have once echoed with the voices of gods or visitors from beyond. As we continue to study, excavate, and speculate, one thing is certain. Malta may hold the answers to the greatest mysteries of our past and possibly our future. For centuries, the sun-bleached stones of Malta have stood silent, guarding secrets carved into the very bedrock of time. These ancient megalithic structures, both above and below the earth, remained a mystery to scholars and explorers alike, until the advent of radiocarbon dating in the mid-20th century revealed something truly astonishing. Malta wasn't just ancient, it was prehistoric, far older than anyone dared to believe. Radiocarbon results shattered long-held assumptions, confirming that Malta's stone temples were built at least 5,600 years ago, making them among the oldest megalithic sites on Earth, even predating the Egyptian pyramids by more than a millennium. But who built them? And how could a civilization that left behind such monumental architecture simply vanish without a trace? One of the most baffling questions we face is what happened to these extraordinary people, the original builders. We know they were here. Then suddenly, around 3,000 years ago, nothing. They disappeared. No clear explanation. No gradual decline. Just gone. While Mesopotamia and the Nile Valley are widely accepted as cradles of civilization, emerging around 400 BC, Some researchers suggest that the people of Malta might have flourished even earlier. Much earlier. And the key to this provocative theory may lie not in the temples themselves, but in the strange carvings found all across the Maltese landscape, mysterious grooves etched into solid limestone, known as the cart-ruts. These ruts appear as deep, parallel tracks running through stone like the worn trail of ancient wagons. Mainstream archaeologists once believed these grooves were worn down by heavy carts pulled across soft limestone. But a closer look raises troubling questions. These tracks don't just crisscross the island, they defy logic. Some even vanish beneath the Mediterranean Sea and then reappear on the other side. What kind of ancient vehicle could do that? Indeed, several cart-ruts have been documented plunging directly into the sea, submerged to depths as great as 140 feet. This single fact disrupts everything we thought we knew about the age of these formations. If the ruts continue underwater, then they must predate the most recent rise in sea level, putting their origins sometime before the end of the last ice age, roughly 12,000 years ago. Back then, global sea levels were drastically lower. Malta was not an isolated island, but part of a larger landmass connected to Sicily and mainland Europe. These now submerged ruts likely traverse dry land, used perhaps by an early, advanced civilization to transport massive stones long before modern history began. This idea, that a forgotten civilization thrived in the Mediterranean during the last ice age, is further supported by Malta's most iconic and enigmatic structure, the Mnajdra Temple complex. Nestled on the rocky southern coast near the village of Krendi, Mnajdra is a breathtaking testament to prehistoric ingenuity. Its stone chambers, circular and interlinked like petals of a flower, form a trefoil design, considered one of the most sophisticated architectural layouts of the ancient world. There are 3 distinct temples here, and the southernmost one appears to have been built as a celestial observatory. During the equinox, when day and night are perfectly balanced, the first rays of sunlight pour through the temple's main corridor, illuminating the interior with eerie precision. On the solstices, different stones align with sunrise, suggesting that Mnajdra functioned as a kind of solar calendar. Mainstream estimates date the oldest part of Mnajdra to around 3600 BC. But even this staggering age may be wildly conservative. In 1992, University of Malta professor Paul McAuliffe published controversial findings. He argued that based on Earth's axial tilt and astronomical alignments, the temple's construction could be traced back, not to 3600 BC, but all the way to 10,200 BC. That's 6,000 years earlier than conventional archaeology allows. And the implications are profound. According to McAuliffe's calculations, the main altar stone of Mnajdra would have caught the solstice sunrise perfectly, but only if it were constructed at that precise time in Earth's wobble cycle, known as the precession of the equinoxes. It's like rewinding the gears of a cosmic clock. Over thousands of years, the position of the sun on the horizon shifts. The fact that Mnajdra aligns with this movement suggests deliberate astronomical planning, at a scale we didn't think possible at the time. So if this alignment holds true, and Mnajdra was indeed built over 12,000 years ago, who had the knowledge to build it? Where did they go? And who or what might have taught them? Ancient Maltese folklore offers one curious explanation: giants. Towering beings from the heavens who descended to Earth and taught humans the secrets of stone, stars, and sound. When you walk among the temples, you feel it immediately. The scale is not human. The stones are immense. Some weigh more than 20 tons. No pulleys, no wheels. And yet they were raised, fitted, and aligned with cosmic precision. Could these giants be more than myth? Ancient astronaut theorists believe so. They argue that extraterrestrial beings, perhaps far taller and stronger than humans, could have visited Malta in the distant past, bringing with them knowledge of advanced astronomy, sound manipulation, and even anti-gravity technology. Think of the implications. If giants came from planets with smaller gravitational fields, they'd naturally be larger than us. And if they brought tools capable of sonic levitation, then suddenly, moving 20-ton stones isn't so unthinkable. The case grows stranger still when we consider Malta's sprawling underground labyrinth, the Hypogeum. Discovered by accident in 1902, the Hypogeum is a 3-level subterranean sanctuary carved entirely from solid rock, dating to at least 2500 BC. Yet its acoustic properties rival modern sound engineering. In the oracle room, a single voice resonates throughout the chambers. It creates standing sound waves that vibrate the body and the brain, potentially inducing altered states of consciousness. Was the Hypogeum a place of worship, or a kind of machine? A gateway to the stars, using frequencies to connect with other realms or intelligences? Modern physicists have only recently begun to understand nonlinear resonance, the phenomenon by which certain sound frequencies can alter matter itself. These ancient engineers may have used sonic vibration to shape, lift, and place stones, perhaps even to access what we now call higher dimensions of consciousness. As the sun sets behind the stone arches of Mnajdra and the whispers of forgotten gods echo through the chambers of the Hypogeum, we are left with unsettling questions. Could Malta's ancient builders have harnessed a technology lost to time? Was this tiny island once a hub for extraterrestrial contact? And if so, what other secrets remain buried beneath its rocky shores, waiting for someone to listen closely enough to hear the truth?